Hello and welcome back to my channel. Like I always say, I hope you're all well and not too stressed over Christmas, and hope you're making some of my crafts. So what are we going to make today? Well, this is something that I think people will love. It's something that you can do every year with your children, like on the 1st of December or during when they break up. You can sit and make one of these. And what it is, it's a handprint. Now I've had to use my own handprint because I haven't got any children around me at the moment. So what are we going to make? You could either have it as a tree decoration, or as the years go by and the children get older, you can make it into like put it on a piece of string and have it hanging up. So you do a handprint. I've put my name in the middle there, so I know it's my hand. And then on the back I've used some Christmas paper, and I've cut out using a die cutter today, but you haven't got to use a die cutter. And then I've put the year. So as the years go on, obviously the hands are going to get bigger. But I just think this is so lovely as a keepsake, and you can, like I say, you can put like a little punch a hole in the top here. You can decorate it whichever way you like, get the children to decorate it. Or you can make lots of them and give them out to family and friends. So this is what I'm going to be showing you what to make today. So I'm going to now go and set up. I've got stuff everywhere, but hey, it's Christmas. No glitter. But yeah, so I'm going to go and set everything up, and I'll show you how to make this handprint. So what do we need to make this lovely handprint? You can even use it on a pet if they let you. Raven wouldn't let me do it. But what do we need? Well, we need, and like I say, you haven't got to have everything that I'm going to be using. Other things that you can use instead of using a die cutter. So I've got my little book of coloured paper, Christmas paper. You can use wrapping paper or just different colours, sheets of paper. And what one have I used? I used the penguin, so I might use a different piece of paper from that. So we need some paper, we need some paint, any paint. This is just acrylic paint. Just make sure that your children don't react against the paint though. And if children don't like their hands being painted, you can always draw around it. What else do we need? We need some glue. This is just normal PVA glue, non-toxic and washable and dries clear, and it was just one I bought many moons ago from WH Smith. So just a pot of glue, and you need your paint brushes, and I put mine all in little tubs like this. That was me glue, and here is me red paint. What else? So I've got some card to cut out my numbers. I did try using a silver card, but for some reason my die cutter wouldn't cut it. But like I say, you don't have to have a die cutter to do this. If you can go to any craft shop like Hobbycraft or the Works, and you can buy the stick-on gold and silver alphabet and numbers, so you don't have to go out and buy all this just to do this craft. There are other ways around it. Let me go over what I've got. So I've got my paper, I've got my glue. Oh, need a pair of scissors. And I think that's about it. Oh, no, it's not. you also need to have a laminator and some laminating sheets. But if you haven't got those, you haven't, like I say, you haven't got to use all these. You can always get some sellotape and layer over the handprint once it's all done, and then cut that out. Or you can just sort of put the handprint on a card and then do it that way. You haven't got to make it into a decoration. The handprint can just go onto the card, and then you can date and put Merry Christmas, just Christmas, and then the year and their name. So I think that's, oh look, this is what I mean. You can buy some sticky things to go on them. I don't know how this one would work though, because it's got little diamonds on it, so I don't know if the laminator would really work with those, so that's why I didn't use them. But just give you an idea in some of the things that you can get. It's just some little sticky bits and pieces. And also, if you wanted, you can get like little diamonds that once you've done, you laminated it all together, you can then stick and let the children just decorate it the way they want, really, which I think is better, because then it's their piece of art at the end of the day. So I'm going to go and set everything up, and we're going to make this lovely handprint. So I'm going to choose myself a piece of paper. Now I did the penguins, but maybe I could do something that's a little bit different. Let's have a quick look. Got so many nice ones in there. I think I'll do the Father Christmas one. So we've got our piece of paper. Turn it so they're sort of facing. So when you turn it over, I had to put this one at an angle, but it doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to turn the piece of paper over. And now for the messy bit. I'm going to paint my hand. I have to do it pretty quick because where I've got a large hand, it's going to dry out quite quickly. Oh, I love doing things like this. Loads of paint on now, on all the fingers. And then when you're happy with it and it's not dry in places, you then place it. I'm going to have to do it at an angle because I've got a bigger hand, but if this is a child, it'll fit in there perfect. And then you just press your hand down and then slowly peel your hand away. So now I'm going to just let that dry. So while that's drying, I'm now going to get out my little die cutter. This is a tiny one. I've got a big one up there. I can't pronounce it, but you can see what make it is. And it's known as a sidekick. But you can get them in all different sizes. But this one is just lovely to use. Now I'm hoping that that's, yes, because it's got a little lever on the side of this one to help stick it to the work surface. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out my numbers. Now with these ones I've got little, because these are like for birthday cards and things like that, but I don't want the candle bit on the top. So once I've cut the die out, I'm then going to cut that off. Oh, it's got a piece in the middle still. Another thing that's handy to have when you're die cutting is to have a small pin as you then see there, I had a bit of paper in there, so you just stick the pin. I've got a little iPhone cleaner that I use her for putting my pins in. So how we do this is we get our strip of paper, a gold card, and then I lay on here and I measure roughly in how wide it's going to be, and then I'll just cut. I don't like waste, you see, and then I'll just cut a strip out roughly the width of the die cutter. But before I put that in there, when you get one of these die cutters, you get a couple of things in here. You get like some plates. So I'm using these two, as you can see, they're well used. And I'll cut my, measure my number on there. I'm going to do 2 at a time. So, and then we'll cut, just put a little nick in there, and then so they don't fall, and then going to cut across. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. I then get my piece of card, then I lay, you've got like a smooth side and you've got like a rough side. Now the rough side I'll lay over and I'll put on top of my piece of card. Then with the other plate I'll lay it on top, then pick it up gently without sliding the numbers on the card, and then all you do is it's a bit like a mangle. You call it a mango then. And I go through ones. It can be a bit tough. Now my board underneath slipping, so I'm having to put my elbow on me. Let's put that back down. See, sometimes I don't always, because this is quite a rough surface, it unsticks sometimes, but if it's on a nice smooth table it works out a lot better. And then I go back making sure that it's pressing down and punching through the paper. So I'll turn it over and then have a quick look without hopefully moving it. Yes, it's gone all the way through. So then I then remove the dies from the piece of card, and then you'll see on the back here there's a little hole, and what you do is you just press that with a little pin, and then you can pull that through. But because I'm not using this top bit, and then you just pull, hopefully it won't tear, and then you've got the number. So I don't want a little bit at the top, so I'm going to just snip that off. Didn't snip that very well. So that's me 0. That's me number 2. Push that through there, just minding your fingers, not to stick the pin in your finger, and then just pull away gently. Because if you pull too quickly and too hard, you can sometimes tear what you've just cut out. I need to keep the 2 handy because I need to use it again. I'll just cut my number 2. So I've got my number 20. So now I want to now do the 2 and the 4. So again, lay your card on your plate, put your numbers on with the rough side onto the card, place the other plate, and then, oh, see, I've moved it. It moved as I see, every time I put down, push down, it moves. So slowly, see, and then wind in the plates. I'll do this a couple of times just so I know it's cut through. And hopefully I don't always cut through. Yeah, perfect. So we just pull the numbers off, pushing slowly from underneath, or whatever way you find comfortable. Get your pin and push your number out, and then just lift without creasing the paper or the card. Cut the top off of that. There's my 2. I'm going to stick that through my finger one of these days. And then just pull that up and cut the flame off the top. Oops. 2024. So I've put my numbers to one side. Now I'm going to be using this die cutter. Now this die cutter, for some reason, doesn't want to cut through the gold card or the silver card, but I have noticed there's a bit of damage here. So when you buy these die cutters, make sure that they've not got any damage on the bit that is sticking up, because that's what cuts. And because there's a bit of damage here, it doesn't cut, so I'm having to sort of like try and pull it apart without tearing. But I've decided to use just white paper, just so I could do the video and show you what the die cutters do. So I've already cut out my piece of white paper. It's just a piece of white paper, sort of like from an A4 sheet of paper. Then I lay my Merry Christmas on top. And the nice thing about this little one, this little die cutter, is you can just, if you just want small things cut out, rather than getting the big die cutter out, this is very handy. I use this quite a lot. I use this more than the big one. The big one is for like cutting out big like boxes and things like that. Well, not big boxes, but like little Christmas boxes and things like that. So I lay the plates together again, and fingers crossed. What I might do this time is, because sometimes what I do is I add a piece of card on top, because the other plastic bit that you get is going to be far too thick. So just to make sure that it's going to be pressed down and cut through, hopefully, I've just put a little bit of card on top. Right, here we go. I can never remember what way it is you. Right. sometimes when you do this you think it's going to crack and snap, but it doesn't. They are very tough. I'm just going to go back through that again. I might even turn this one over and do that side. So no, it's definitely something's just fallen off the side. That's what the big crack was. Right, hopefully. It seems to cut it out better this time round. So now, being very, very careful, because it is very, very thin. And see what I mean, where the die cutter is a little bit damaged, I'm gonna just have to just, that's it. And I'm just gonna pull them up. And then get my pin and just pull out the little extra bits. And this is when you know that it's all been cut through. And the E there. And like I say, you haven't got to go out and buy a die cutter just to do this. You can buy it already made. Merry Christmases or Christmas already cut out. I just wanted to show you how the die cutter worked. That's it. It's come out quite well this time. But some of the die cutters, they're so dainty and delicate. So we've got our Merry Christmas cut out. So I've got my hand print, that's all nice and dry now. I've got my Merry Christmas cut out, and I've also got me 2024. So all I need to do now is I need to cut out my hand. Just cut it out. So before I glue everything onto the back of the hand, it's pretty, well, move them out of the way. I'm going to just put my name, and all I've got is, I think I either got these from somewhere like Asda or The Works. In fact, no, I think I got them from Lidl, or was it Aldi? I can't remember. But it was one of those shops, and it's just a permanent marker, metallic, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to just write my name. So then I know that that's my hand. Then I turn it over and I place my Merry Christmas on to the back of the hand, and then I get a little bit of glue in when I'm happy and where I think I want it to go. Now you don't really need to put too much glue on because it's going to be laminated, so just so I know it's going to be secure and won't move when I move. Try not to get it on my fingers. I just sort of put a couple of blobs in some of the big areas, like on the snowflakes. You can always use and write Merry Christmas using the metallic pens and just writing straight onto the hand. And then I sort of lay it down. Then when I'm happy, I'll then just, where I've glued, and just glue it down. It did look really nice in the silver, but I just couldn't, it just wouldn't punch it all the way through. I'm now going to stick the year along the bottom here. It's a nice big bit of glue, sort of, just so it sticks. Hasn't got to be perfect, as it's homemade. Homemade is always better. Put my 0 on, lining it up. And it still might be at an angle. And then just put a little bit too much. Try not to get glue on my fingers because I'll spend the rest of the evening sitting there picking it off if it doesn't wash off properly. And then our number 4, I'm going to drop it. And it has to be a really fine piece of glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just let that dry. So while that's drying, I'm then going to warm up my laminator, because it takes a little while to warm up. So that glue, like I say, it's not like big blobby glues on now, but just enough for it to just dry quickly. So while my laminator is warming up, I'm going to lay, find which end it is first, right, because it says on the front of my laminator, insert sealed edge first. So this is the sealed edge, making sure I've got none of Raven's fur in the laminator. Now normally when I laminate, I like to laminate with other stuff here, but I haven't got anything, so unfortunately, but then I can always use it when it's all sealed together. I'll use it for something else. I'll cut it out. So I lay it as close as I can to the edge, making sure that all my pieces of extra paper are laying flat. So I've got my handprint in its laminated sheet, and the edge that's sealed, making sure that my laminator has got 2 settings that are cold and a hot, and for some reason I put it on cold, so when I put it through it didn't work. So anyway, it's all heated up now, and I'm going to insert it into the side and then just let it do its job. Just guiding it into the laminator and then helping it out the other side. So there's my hand, that's one side, and there's the other side. I do run my laminate sheet through. Once I've done it's gone through ones, I then will turn it over and I'll just to make sure that I know it's stuck down properly. But I wouldn't do it more than that. So all I do now is you get your scissors. You just cut round. Oh, I really like these. I think it's something nice that you can do every year, and then when you do it like the next year or the year after that, you'll see the hands grow, which is really sweet. But now if you want to sort of decorate it some more, this is where you can then get your little sticky gems, and then you can sort of like stick bits on top or even around the edge if you want to cut it a little bit bigger, and put little diamantes around the edge, add bows, add some tinsel, add anything, add a bit of glitter. So that's how we make a laminated Christmas tree decoration. So if you haven't got a laminator, you can always still do the hand print, and you can get sellotape. If you've got a nice flat surface that you know that you can peel off, like a table or even a tray, you can lay your hand print down onto the tray, then get strips of sellotape and lay over. Once you've done one side, turn it over and then do the other side, and then it will seal that handprint, and then you just cut round the edge. It'll be a little bit more flimsy than what this is, but there are other ways round in covering. Or if you remember back in many years ago, if you ever used to cover your school books with like a plastic film that used to pull the sheet back, lay that on, you could lay that on top of there, then get another one. If it's small enough, or if the piece of plastic's big enough and the hand's small enough, you can then fold it and stick that over. I don't know if you can still buy that. I would have thought so. It's like a thick plastic cover, wasn't it? So yeah, let me know in the comments if you like that idea. I love it. I just think it's so cute. I mean, when it's a child's hand, it's even more cuter because it's smaller. Or you can even do a dog print or a cat print if they let you do it. But anyway, don't think I've forgotten anything. What else I would do? Or if you haven't got a die cutter and you haven't got any things to stick on, you just get some felt tip pens, get the children to write Merry Christmas and then cut that out. That's an idea as well. And then once you cut that out, you can then glue that on there. It's your handprint. These are just some ideas that I've got. I've got some of the, I've got a die cutter and I don't get to use it that often. So when I get the chance that I can use it, and I thought I'm going to use it today because people keep saying to me, what's a die cutter? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you give it a go. If there's any more tips that you can give me that in making one of those. You could even do a footprint if you wanted. It doesn't have to be a hand, it can be a footprint. Anyway, Sammy, which crafts are we going to be making next? We'll come back to my next video and you'll see. Anyway, you all take care and I'll catch you on the next video. Oh, before I go though, I'm off again now. Don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe. Ding that little bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up and share if you can share, and make a comment. I love reading them. I'll try and reply to everybody. I have noticed over the last couple of weeks that there's been people that have made a comment, but I've not seen it for some reason. I've not had any notification that there's been other messages on there or comments on there. So I'm not ignoring you, I just haven't seen them. So if you do make a comment and I don't read it and I find it, I will reply back or give you a hearts and a thumbs up and a like. Anyway, I'm doing what I normally do, sit there, stand by, and then I start waffling. Anyway, you all take care and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.